Hi folks, this is Gabe at Security.org, and today we're checking out one of the top rated identity theft and credit monitoring services, IdentityForce. In today's review of IdentityForce, I'm going to cover the pros and cons, the feature set, the plan options, the customer support before jumping into that user experience in both the online dashboard and mobile application, and finally let you know exactly who I think this product is for. If you'd like to read my full written review of IdentityForce, head on over to Security.org. There you'll find not only my full comprehensive review on IdentityForce, but also comparisons with other identity theft and credit monitoring services, along with tips and guides on how to keep your home and digital life secure. Let's kick off today's look at IdentityForce, going over some pros and cons, beginning with the pros. Now, it is going to comprehensively monitor your identity, your financial accounts. It's going to do dark web scans. It's going to make sure you're solid in all three major credit bureaus, along with even checking out your social media accounts, making sure everything is accounted for. On top of that, IdentityForce is actually quite reasonably priced. You can get full, complete coverage of both your identity and credit for under $25 a month. Finally, it gives you $1 million in recovery insurance. So if someone were to actually steal your identity and run up those bills under your name, they're going to make sure you are properly compensated up to $1 million. Now, when it comes to cons, IdentityForce's mobile application is somewhat limited. You, of course, will get credit alerts and you can look at various elements of your credit accounts. But if you want full control, you're going to have to go ahead and log in to the online dashboard. Now I want to break down exactly what the feature set of IdentityForce is going to be doing for you. And it's essentially monitoring all of your personal information and alerting you to when something has gone awry. Let's begin with identity with IdentityForce, where it's going to always be on the lookout for your social security number, the addresses associated, the aliases associated, to ensure that you are being protected. It's also going to be on the lookout for changes in your address. You know, people can reach out to the United States Postal Service, and you do not want someone to be able to basically start receiving your mail, so they're going to alert you to that. Additionally, they're going to be constantly doing dark web scans to ensure that your credentials, your identity is not out there in the dark web for anyone to just buy. On top of that, they're going to be on the lookout for payday loans. You may be surprised to learn that people actually go to payday loan spots using your social security number and just try to get a payday loan based on your job and get that money. And finally, they're going to be looking out for fraud. So anyone tries to take out a line of credit in your name, they're going to alert you to that activity. Now with IdentityForce, credit is another important thing that's being monitored. You're going to get all of your reports and scores from the three major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And on top of that, they're going to be closely monitoring your accounts with those various credit services. On top of that, they have something called a credit tracker, and that's going to actually give you what your credit score has looked like over the past. So you can actually look at the history of your credit score and maybe help give you an idea of how you should be using credit moving forward. And if that's not enough for you, they actually have something called a credit score simulator, and that will actually allow you to see what different purchases and what doing different things, like for example, revolving credit, will have in terms of how they affect your credit. But I find that personally to be particularly useful. Additionally, with IdentityForce, you can be able to monitor bank accounts and credit cards. So you're able to know exactly what's taking place and be alerted as they are monitoring all that activity for you. And if that's not enough, they're even going to look at your investment accounts. So you have a couple 401ks, switch jobs a couple of times, they're going to monitor that and see exactly what's taking place and let you know to make sure you're informed. IdentityForce is also going to be monitoring your social media accounts. You know, we're social beings and we're also digital beings. And if you want to ensure that discrimination, violence, and cyberbullying are not really taking place on your various accounts, they are going to be watching your Instagram, your Twitter, your YouTube, your Facebook to make sure that everyone is staying safe. Now, beyond monitoring and alerts, IdentityForce is there for you when it comes to recovery. So you will have potentially money lost if your identity were to be stolen, where they're going to be there to reimburse you. And not just for the money you may potentially lose, but legal fees, all of that up to $1 million. And of course, beyond just the money, you care about, yourself, your identity, and they have a certified protection expert that will be there to help you restore your identity and reputation. And that person will be available for you 24/7. So that's our look at the rather impressive array of features offered by IdentityForce. Well, hold on. I hope you're enjoying today's look at IdentityForce. If you want to be kept up to date on the newest in identity theft and credit monitoring services, subscribe to our channel, Security.org. We're dropping new content weekly. All right, let's get back to the video. Now that we've gone over the feature set, I'm gonna talk about the plans available with IdentityForce. Now, IdentityForce has UltraSecure and UltraSecure Plus Credit. And if you're someone who's really focused on the credit monitoring elements and services of IdentityForce, you're gonna wanna get that UltraSecure Plus Credit. It's really going to delve into the scores and reports and simulations and trackers. They're going to help you keep really tight control on your credit score. Now, one notable thing is that it also offers family plans with Child Watch. And Child Watch really allows you to keep an eye on your children's social security numbers. So regardless of what you would like to do and what type of solution is best for you, I imagine there's a plan available with IdentityForce. When it comes to identity theft, it is really important to have the best support available. And fortunately, that does seem to be the case with IdentityForce. If you're having any issues, with something related to identity theft, you want to know what's happening, and they have numerous FAQs, product resource pages available, along with the ability to call them, email them. You can even leave them a message and they will get back to you. And on top of all of that, they have those certified protection experts available 24/7 to help you with whatever concerns you may have. Now I want to jump into where the rubber really hits the road as it pertains to IdentityForce, and that is the user experience. You ultimately want that to be intuitive, you want it to be easy, you want it to be enjoyable. So let's go ahead and check that out by going into the online dashboard. Here we are checking out the online dashboard for IdentityForce Identity Theft and Credit Monitoring Service. So you'll note on the left side, you have a number of different tabs that are the different elements that come with this product to help you keep tabs on what's going on. And it starts out with that dashboard and you got your alerts. You have identity, financial, credit, social, and it tells you all the information that's being monitored in terms of your personal information, your financial information, and your social information. Now you get a lot on this initial dashboard. If you scroll down on this first page, you'll note that you have your monitored information. So you have personal and financial, social, and the different elements that are being scanned. And if you go even further down on that page, you'll see your credit score from the three major bureaus. So you have Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So then I can jump directly into the alerts page. And on my alerts page, I'm going to get a number of different useful things like what's going on in my inbox, what's happening in terms of sex offenders and smart social security number tracker alert. And even if my email address is just being out there, potentially in the dark web, potentially being used by other folks. Now, if you go below that, the next tab is your credit history. Now for credit, you have a number of different options, and it's going to start you at the very top with your credit report. Now, credit report is really useful. It gives you a credit summary, the total number of open accounts that you have. You'll also see on that first page, your credit history is available, and you just really can delve deeply into each of the three credit bureaus along with the total number of credit bureaus and accounts. So then you have your three major scores, once again, easily accessible. So you see what's going on with your Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And I really appreciate the next tab, which is that credit score tracker. And this is giving you kind of just a history. So that's really useful in terms of getting an idea of where you've been. And the next tab for Credit Simulator is a good idea of seeing where you can go. So it actually allows you to see, well, what would happen if I, were to take out another credit card or add a credit limit. Now below your credit, you just get all of your account information so you can manage your account. You have all your personal information, you have your financial information, your social information. Those are all easy to access and easy to input so that it can keep tabs on what is going on in your life, even if people have hacked your Facebook. These are things that I actually find to be particularly useful in this new digital era in terms of our social and real life blending together more and more. Now you'll note you have your password and security, and below your password and security, yes, you have two-factor authentication that you can set up along with your protection plan and something I particularly like, lost wallet assistance. Now, lost wallet assistance allows you to essentially keep all of your information from your bank cards and the like in case you're to lose that wallet and you really honestly need some of those numbers, even to just cancel some accounts. Now, if we continue, you'll note that below that you have your transaction history. But what I really want to delve into here are the resources, because these are so great. You can have, for example, a number of tools like calculators. So you can compare different credit cards. You can look at auto lease versus buying. These are really useful tools and instruments to really help you get a solid hold on your finances. And then to the right of that, you'll see forms. Now, when we're on the forms, you'll get a number of different forms that are useful if you, for example, want to dispute a claim, or you have a letter to Equifax, or you have any number of things like junk mail opt-out. They provide them for you within the online dashboard IdentityForce. So that's a look at the online dashboard with IdentityForce Identity Theft and Credit Monitoring Service. Now let's jump into another way in which you will be using IdentityForce, and that's the mobile application. Now, people seem to generally like their experience. It has a 3.3 out of 5 stars in the Apple App Store and a 4.2 out of 5 stars in the Google Play Store. So let's go ahead and check it out on our Android. So here we are jumping into the IdentityForce mobile application on my Android. Now you'll see here that you have a number of different elements right on that first page, because you have basically alerts, protection, credit, and support. Now, I will say right off the bat that as you can note just from this front screen, they're not the number of options one gets with the online dashboard, but I still find the mobile app to be useful. And especially when I think that I can jump directly into an alert detail. So by looking at an alert detail, I can see exactly what has happened, when it has happened, down to the actual moment that it took place. And you'll see that all of your aliases, for example, and addresses associated with your social security number, all of that is just going to be accessible if something were to happen to it. And that's right in the mobile application. If you jump into that protection tab, you'll see all of your information. So you can go and look at your transactions that have been taking place, your account numbers. You can even look at your driver's license, email address, your medical accounts to make sure that you're the person actually engaging in any activity associated with those accounts. Now, to the right of protection on that bottom tab, you'll see credit monitoring. And this just gives you a nice, honestly, quite visually appealing look at your credit score. So it lets you know not only your credit score, but how lenders are viewing it. So they'll say good or maybe fair or potentially bad, might have some work to do in that arena. But that's something that one can work out directly from the mobile application. Finally, you can go to the far right tab, and that's your support tab. And that basically allows you to contact a specialist when it comes to your account via email or via your phone. So you can go ahead and just give them a call and start getting to work on whatever concern you may have. And finally, a feature I really appreciate with IdentityForce is the mobile attack control. This helps to keep your phone secure. I mean, we're doing so much of our digital life on our phones. We want that to be just as protected as we feel when we're on our MacBook or PC. And fortunately, with mobile attack control, you can scan your phone to ensure that it's actually being used in the right way and in a secure way. I mean, I love, for example, here that you see that my operating system is not current. I think a lot of people do not understand or maybe or realize or grasp that the reason we have constant iOS and Android updates is to actually make sure that any exploits that have been found are fixed so that we don't have ways in which our phones are vulnerable and can be compromised. And I like to know that I don't have a jailbroken phone. I like to know that I have had my device scanned for malware. I like that I have SMS security and that I'm on a secure Wi-Fi network. These are all actually quite useful for us as more and more of our lives are spent on our mobile devices. And that's our look at the mobile application for IdentityForce. right, we've gone over a lot today in our look at IdentityForce, and you're wondering exactly who is this for, Gabe? And let me let you know, it's for the person who really wants to be on top of everything going on when it pertains to their identity and credit monitoring. This is going to be the product for those who want complete knowledge of what's going on as it pertains to their bank accounts, their credit cards. It's also for the person who wants the peace of mind knowing they have essentially recovery insurance. If their identity is stolen, if they have to get lawyers, they are going to have all of that paid for by IdentityForce. And finally, it's for the person who really appreciates a good customer support. You're going to get that with IdentityForce. You have a number of options of getting in touch with them, and with those 24/7 available certified protection experts, if something goes awry, you're going to be able to call them and get the guidance that you need. So overall, with our experience here at Security.org, I have to commend IdentityForce as a great option for you and your digital and financial existence. All right, so that's our look at IdentityForce. Now, if you have any questions or comments, please drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. And if you appreciate today's video, give us a like and hit that subscribe button. As always, this is Gabe at Security.org. Be secure.